Look, Dr. Randy, the kind of hope, goodwill that Mr. Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia had as at 2017, I never believed that we will come to the point where today we'll be discussing unbridled corruption that we have seen. I am totally shocked about the issues of Galamsey. I knew how our water bodies looked prior to 2016 and how these water bodies look today. And I'm not going to sit here and do an armchair analysis of the events. Dr. Randy, I've had to travel. In fact, you should do a road trip from Dabuase right to Triple-Praso into Dunkwa by road. Palgrave, I will encourage you to try that trip. And you will see for yourself. In fact, the new bridge at Triple-Praso, you should be on that bridge and look at the current state of the Pra River. Then you can appreciate that we are basically joking. And when it comes to government handling of the Galamsey incident, it's at the point of criminality. Completely lost. And I've always said, if Mr. Akufo-Addo had not promised that he was putting his presidency on the line, I wonder what would have happened. Because if the man can promise that he's putting his presidency on the line, and this is the state of affairs, then imagine the reverse. What would have been the situation? Look, take a road trip, right, from Takwa to Bogoso, Ayamfori, right to Sifi. In fact, by the time you get to Wasa-Krapon, right by the roadside, people don't care anymore. That is the state of affairs. And so for me, it did not come to me as a surprise at all. When I heard the Western Regional Minister, something Kobe, what's his name? The Western Regional.
The Honorable Kobe is it Daku Mensah?
Daku Mensah. In a very shameful manner, encourage this issue of Galamsey. And if you watch the video recording, and like Dr. Randy rightly pointed out, if the man,
Randy is fine.
If doctor can put this out, you earn it.
Randy is fine.
You earn it. If you can put, like the minister said, remember that this is the chairman of the Regional Security Council, RECSEC. He's not mean a person. My brother here is government spokesperson on governance and security. Correct?
Correct.
Good. Now, this is not a spokesperson. He is the president's rep. So ordinarily in the region, you would have been like the president in that region. And if he can talk in this shameful and reckless manner, and again, as for our president, he had declared himself Mampam.
What is that?
Like he cannot hear anything. He cannot see anything. Mampam. So everything that his regional minister has said or done, the president will not even act.
But a government spokesperson says he has spoken to it.
See, Randy, any serious president who has, according to him, had put his presidency on the line should be asking this minister to go home. That is what you do. Because, incidentally, our president used to co-chair the International Panel on Sustainable Development on those related matters. Looking at that kind of international position, if you have any one of your appointees act in this reckless manner, you don't, as it were, turn a blind eye to such misconduct. What you do is that you demonstrate leadership by saying that, regional minister, at this point, you do not represent the public interest again. What you represent now is your own personal interest, and you leave it like that. That is the kind of leadership that has been lacking. Did I hear my brother Paul Graves say, I recall the MPP parliamentary candidate for Wasa East, Ernest Frimpong.
No, it was the same
yes.
function. Yeah.
He even went as far as encouraging the Galamseyers
and
to assault.
And the RegSec chair, the minister was seated
yes,
there. And they were all laughing.
And attack the military. These are the concerns that the respected Francis Poku is speaking about. And when you have a situation where the regional minister can speak in this manner and the president will not act in a very, the accounts will say, Mampam, Unjefi. What is that? What exactly is happening to this country? And look, Randy, have you seen that Cocoa Board attributes our falling cocoa production to the activities of Galamseyers? Have you heard that conversation? Yes. And so this matter borders on national security. Because you see, the danger is that if people have their farmlands being taken over by Galamseyers, cocoa farms being taken over by Galamseyers, most conflicts all over the world are fought on the issue of natural resources. Control. So this is an existential threat. And in most of these Galamsey areas, they are properly armed. What more offends the 1992 Constitution than when people can individually raise private armies, fully armed? And in the words of the MPP candidate, they should attack the military if they come there. One would have expected that the regional minister who was in that meeting would immediately rebuke him. But he even endorsed it and went further. Even more shocking, he tells the Galamseyers that they should now go and do their own mapping, the cadastral processes. And Mr. Akufo-Addo once again will be watching and be laughing. I think we don't deserve this kind of leadership. And never again should Ghana be subjected to this ridicule. What has really been the 8 years rule, I must say, of the Akufo-Addo presidency? Did you talk about corruption? Paul Grave. We all saw what happened between Akufo-Addo and Martin Amidu, and how Martin Amidu left that position, ultimately describing him as the mother serpent of corruption, directly interfering in his work. Randy asked a very interesting question. Randy, from the time Mr. Akufo-Addo came to power, from 2017 to date, all the so-called prosecutions have all been done by his attorney generals. Yes. So this whole special prosecutor's office, for me, right from the beginning, I have always said, look, if you look at our history, this is not the first time we're having a special prosecutor. You know your own senior brother, Bright Akwete?
Yes.
You know he was a special prosecutor?
Yes.
But
not in the form of this office with the legal creation.
But he was a special prosecutor.
Yes.
By way of function.
Yes.
The respected Asasijima, he was a deputy special prosecutor. And I've always said, look, if you go and look at the Ghana law reports, there's one Apia in the Republic. Apia was a special prosecutor. At the end of the day, he ran to London. Do you know why? He was investigating the Kowus Motors incident. Finally, they found out that monies were paid into his Ghana Commercial Bank account in London as the special prosecutor. So this is something that we have experimented before. And so when Mr. Akufo-Addo put this office together, many of us knew that this office, he is going to fight it himself. We have seen how appointees of President Akufo-Addo have attacked the person, the office of Mr. Kissie Jabeng when he started the Cecilia Dapa investigation. We have seen it. Named appointees of President Akufo-Addo. If he was not in support of that, what you do is to call those appointees to order. But hey, you dare not touch my dear Cecilia Dapa. How dare you? For the special prosecutor to extend his investigation to Madam Cecilia Dapa. I'm shocked that today this government still tell people that, oh, you know what, don't hoard dollars in your rooms and others. Ghanaians are learning from the Cecilia Dapa approach, where if you get cedis, you buy dollars and keep it in your room. The Cecilia Dapa approach. What are we talking? If today our city is going the way it is going, Akufo-Addo says one thing and does the opposite. His body language does not align with what he says. And that is why this country had gotten to the point that, arguably, we are getting to the point where you can say we have failed as a people. We need to be serious in this country. See how Yoko had to come out with a way to whitewash this whole Cecilia Dapa investigation. Meanwhile, the Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Act, and incidentally, the act was amended by President Akufo-Addo in 2020, where they specifically put in it that where you see that kind of funds with someone, the burden is on the person to show. Yoko comes to tell us that they are unable to do anything. What are we talking about? What this kind of behavior does is that it creates a sense of despondency. I've heard the Speaker of Parliament, the respected Honorable Bagbin, make the point that government led by President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia must learn from the incidents in Kenya. And I think it's a welcoming call. Our president should learn. You recall, the finance bill that culminated in the massive demonstration by the Gen Z or whatever is the same finance bill that came by way of e-levy. Because they were seeking to raise about $2 billion, exactly what they wanted to do with e-levy. Obviously, the Ghanaian is a naturally, peaceful and stuff. So we took it in. But when Ruto tried it in Kenya, the people in Kenya said no. And at least I would applaud Ruto. He's demonstrated leadership, servant leadership, by saying that, listen, I've listened to your complaint. I'm sure
he'll tell you the theory doesn't agree with
this
you.
This theory agrees. The man says, I admit, in fact, he uses the word, I concede.
All his actions before the event.
I like that, Bob. I like that. But you see, like our elders will say, Sankofa. At least the man says, I concede. My initial understanding of the bill, I didn't get it right. I concede. You must have that leadership that sometimes demonstrates remorse. You can't always have it. There's a reason why they say there's a reason why. But as for this Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, all knowing, we know everything. We are never wrong. Meanwhile, your scorecard is one of disaster. You have effectively destroyed this country.